Modern female characters are horrible. If you're consuming anything related to pop culture, whether it's TV shows, movies, video games, you probably noticed that female characters are very often uninteresting, unidimensional, dislikable, and honestly, terribly ugly. The ideologically driven modern media will frequently glorify an idealized and very dumb invincibility, where female characters are depicted as flawless, untouchable beings. Have we lost sight of what makes a hero truly remarkable? Think of Rey, the random messianic figure from the I refuse to call it canonical Disney trilogy of Star Wars, Captain Marvel from the beginning of the end of the MCU, or Galadriel from the most disrespectful adaptation of Tolkien's work ever made, Rings of Power. These characters are portrayed as physically, mentally, and spiritually stronger than most male protagonists would be for no reason. They have no struggles, no real obstacles to face. They just happen to be really badass with almost zero training and preparation, zero challenges. The people writing those characters apparently think that being an overpowered girl boss is the only thing that can make them remarkable, sacrificing any chance of the audience feeling related to the character at all. But the important question here is, what makes a hero actually memorable? Today, I want to take you on a journey. We will look beyond the surface and analyze a character who defies this feminist trend of female perfection. Rukia from Bleach. She's not the strongest, she's not perfect, yet she carries a depth, a vulnerability that draws us in and teaches us what real strength and virtue, real heroic values look like. The first thing we need to understand is why so many modern female characters are, for lack of a better term, complete garbage. There's a misconception, or most likely a forced mistake, in storytelling today. The idea that to be strong, a female character must be invincible, or rather stronger than any male character. She must be superior and replace men in every shape, way, or form. But that leaves us with characters who never grow, who never face real conflict. Characters like Rey are presented as inherently powerful from the start. Where is the development? Where is the explanation? I'll never forget the fact that she literally defeated the son of Leia, who was trained by Luke Skywalker himself, direct descendant of Darth freaking Vader, with zero training. It's one of the most pathetic fighting scenes in the history of movies. Carol Danvers' story isn't about overcoming personal limitations. It's about realizing she was always the strongest. Where is her evolution as a human being? Every person has obstacles to face in their lives. It's impossible to be inspired by a journey of someone who's always perfect. It's simply not relatable. When strength is only defined by physical prowess or supernatural powers, it strips the character of their humanity. Rey and Captain Marvel, for all their power, lack any emotional or psychological depth that would make us root for them. They are untouchable, and when there's no real struggle, how can we even care? Let's turn to a good, well-written female character, Rukia. Rukia isn't introduced as some flawless, invincible warrior. In fact, one of her first defining moments is giving up her Shinigami powers to save someone else. For a good portion of the anime, she's entirely sidelined. She steps back. But does that make her less important? Obviously no. Her significance lies not in her physical strength or powers, but in her being. Even though she's not a Shinigami anymore, she's perfectly aware of her responsibilities and guides Ichigo through the process of becoming a Shinigami. She's deeply driven by her duty, always being loyal to the hierarchy of Soul Society, even to the point of accepting her own death penalty. Rukia is flawed. She feels guilt, carries the weight of her past, especially because of her complicated relationship with her brother Byakuya and the memories she has of the tragedy involving Shiba Kaien. Because of that, she's often unsure of her own worth. She's not the strongest fighter either, not by a long shot. Yet, her strength comes from a place much deeper than just sheer physical power and combat skills. She grows not only by becoming stronger and more capable as a Shinigami, but also by confronting her inner demons. by healing her family wounds, by accepting her role in the world and in the lives of those around her. What makes Rukia stand out is her vulnerability. Vulnerability is something rarely afforded to modern female characters. Race challenges, for instance, are exclusively external. She fights the First Order, but internally she seems completely stable, almost unshakable. Rukia, however, is constantly grappling with her own self-worth, with a need to prove herself and escape the ghosts of her past. And this makes her real. It makes her relatable. One of the most interesting things about Rukia is the fact that she probably wouldn't be considered a traditionally feminine character. Despite having a very small and delicate frame, she's a very serious and polite woman. She has a very strong personality, frequently being rough, aggressive, and disagreeing with people that she doesn't see as being hierarchically above her, such as Ichigo himself. She could easily be seen as a girl boss in some sense, which creates a contrast with a character like Inoue, who personifies the pure feminine essence by being the most agreeable, kind, and sweet character in the anime. Rukia's deep and genuine femininity is revealed through what's probably my favorite Zanpakuto in the Bleach universe, Sode no Shirayuki. The Zanpakuto, also known as the unique sword of every individual Shinigami, is a weapon shaped by the soul of its wielder. Rukia's Zanpakuto is the sword that embodies the meaning of femininity itself, combining the beauty with delicate techniques that are called dances to strike the enemies. Her Bankai, Haka no Togame, is the embodiment of the spirit within the sword, assuming the most elegant form any Zanpakuto can have. Rukia represents the perfect contrast and balance between a strong female character with a remarkable personality and the beauty, the elegance of femininity at its core. Rukia's vulnerability does not make her weak. On the contrary, it makes her stronger. It's her willingness to confront her emotions, to stand tall despite them, that defines her true strength. She teaches us that real power in storytelling isn't just about being able to defeat every enemy. It's about facing your own fears, your own doubts, and still choosing to rise, even if that can cost your own life. True power is way more than just merely being good at fighting. While characters like Galadriel, Rey, and Captain Marvel are portrayed as the strongest, their lack of any relatable traits makes their power feel completely hollow. Rukia, on the other hand, shows us that even when you're not the most powerful in combat, you can have immense influence over the story. Her wisdom, her resilience, her ability to inspire those around her, these are the traits that make her indispensable. She may not win every fight, although she does win most of them, but her presence shapes the narrative in very significant ways. So, why do we need more characters like Rukia? Because she is a reminder that strength and vulnerability aren't opposites. They coexist in the journey of every hero. She shows us that being such a hero isn't about being perfect. It's about struggling, failing, and getting back up. It's about growth. Rukia is not invincible, and that's precisely why I love her as a character. Her imperfections are part of her strength. Her flaws matter very little when her conviction is to be virtuous and heroic. In a media landscape overflowing with characters designed to be stronger, faster, and better than everyone else for no good reason, Rukia is one of the good characters that have some emotional depth and complexity. She shows us that having that inner strength, being capable of growing, is far more compelling than mere physical might. Rukia is a testament to how great female heroes can be when they're written with care, when they're given room to be flawed and human. Even though she's a Shinigami, not a human, but that's, just a technicality. And that's exactly what we need more of in storytelling. Characters who inspire us, not because they're invincible, but because they remind us that true strength comes from within. Just like them, we are able to rise and overcome the obstacles in our lives. And that's exactly what Rukia represents. If this discussion was interesting to you, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. And before you go, there's another video on the screen right now that you won't want to miss. Go check it out. See you guys next time.